After you have joined the data to your map, for example, here we do have the data joined with a map, and I know the first column is total population. I think the second is white population, the third is non-white, and for the rest, I don't remember exactly. So for your study, I would recommend you to study the data first. And after you have know every variable, you possibly will need to compute for new variables, and then you do the calculation in Excel. And after this data preparation is done in Excel, you join the data into ArcGIS and do the mapping analysis. Now assume that I have done everything and I would like to know the population distribution. So this is a total population distribution. Let's do two exercises. And the first is distribution of population and the second is distribution of population density. And here, as I talked in class, for the rest of county, we don't have census tracts available in 1940, and therefore I aggregate all the rest areas into one super big tract, and therefore the population for that tract is the difference between the county population and the total tract population for those tracts that do have 1940 population. And I think for this big parcel, it's like a 2/3 of the county area, and it only contains like 10% of the total county population in 1940. So let's do a distribution of population map. If you want to do this distribution of population or a thematic presentation of population distribution, and right click on this population layer, and then right click on the left click on the properties to open the property layer, and then make sure the symbology tab is on, and then choose quantities, and then choose graduated colors, and for the value choose the first variable. I know the first variable is total population, and therefore this is a presentation of total population. And for classification, I'm not going to use a default. I'm going to click on the classify. Instead of using the Jenkins methods, I'm going to use a quantile. I'm going to use 5 quantiles. So by doing this, and the presentation is presenting the census tracts in 5 big groups. And the top group is here, the top 20% of the tracts with the lowest amount of people living here. And then the next 20%, and next 20%, and next 20%, and the top 20% of tracts with the most of people living there. So in every group, you have same number of census tracts. And then if you click on apply and say OK, and this is the distribution of population across the county in 1940. And you see you have a lot of people living outside. That's because I have a huge census tract outside. That's possibly will be like 20 or 100 or 150 in the 1990 census tract map. So next thing, let's do distribution of density map, distribution of population density. So right click on that tract layer and click on properties, and then make sure it's in symbology, make sure it's quantities, make sure it's graduated colors. And for the first value, I still choose the total population, the first variable. And for normalization, I choose shape area. It's an area information. So for normalization, it's if you choose this normalization, the map will present a distribution of this value divided by this area. So in this case, it's density information. And here I click on classify. I'm still going to use 5 quantiles and say OK. So those are the 5 groups of census tracts by population density from the low density to high density, and in every group we have the same number of tracts. And if you click on apply and if you click on OK, and this is a distribution of population density, and you will see the pattern is very much different from the previous pattern. So be careful in presenting the information. When you are presenting information, think about what is more accurate, what is more effective.